Let me start off. Say good afternoon, brother. Let me say good afternoon to everyone, and I certainly appreciate everyone for being here this afternoon, especially community leaders and mothers, especially. And there's a number of folk. Let me just acknowledge very quickly those who assembled here. Brother Charles X. White with the South Park Sunnyside area. Cynthia Farms is here. Mark Ball from Ship of Zion Baptist Church. Pastor Cooks from Evangelistic Restoration Church. Pastor Matthews, Pastor Max Miller, of course, from Mount Hebron, and over the Houston Pastors Ministers of Houston and vicinity. Pastor Michael Jordan, Pastor Sutton, Pastor Tanya and Dean, and Color Missionary Baptist Church. Reverend Curtis Dockery of Sunnyside Pride. Reverend R.V. Is that Colonel Sari? Reverend Nash, of course, Ministers Against Crime. Reverend Tenor Rose. Tracy Stevens of Sunnyside Park Civic Club. Travis McGee. Sandra Massey Hines, which I refer to as the mayor of Sunnyside. And then, of course, there are two council members who are with me today, and we're in Councilman Boykin's district. So he's standing here, Councilman Mike Knox, who's an at-large member, and we're also standing in the district of State Representative Boris Miles. Good to see you. And, of course, Councilor May Walker is here with Councilor Precinct 7. And then the Chief of Police is here, Chief Martavo. And there are a number of others who are here. So, but let me just say, on a couple of days ago, we kicked off March on Crime in the city of Houston, and we are gathered here at the site of one of this city's recent murders to call for an end to bloodshed. And that's essentially what this press conference is about. It's just calling for an end to bloodshed. And joining me this afternoon, are mothers who have lost their children to the violence, members of the clergy, and others who are part of what I consider the back channel discussions with various gang members, because essentially it's not just about having press conferences and holding a town hall meeting. You have to talk to everyone, and everyone has to be a part of it. You've got to recognize that. And so I certainly want to appreciate those members of the clergy and others who taken their time to have part of the back channel discussions with various groups. The Houston Police Chief Martha Maltavo, Assistant Chief Troy Fenner, members of the HPD's Anti-Gang Task Force, and other representatives from HPD. Of course, again, Precinct 7, Councilman May Walker, and then State Representative Boris Miles, the members of City Council, the Neighborhood Civic Club leaders, and many others. This neighborhood has been hit especially hard. But let me also emphasize, the violence is not limited to the South Side. It is not limited to Sunnyside. We're just holding this press conference to hear. But the same message could be on the North Side, in Southwest, all over the city of Houston, 676 square miles. It is happening in every neighborhood, and I want to make a personal appeal for it to stop. This isn't about what I am doing or going to do to stop the bloodshed. It is about what we are going to do together. This is going to take everyone, from those who are thinking about or who have committed acts of violence, to the parents, to law enforcement, to the clergy, and to our community leaders. Everyone is gathered here today, and those who are not here will have to participate in stopping the violence within the city of Houston. Someone always knows something. And I think it's especially committed. Somebody knows, someone who has committed a crime or who's thinking about committing a crime, someone knows something. And to the extent someone knows something that has happened or is about to happen or may happen, someone has to say something. If you have information about a crime that is about to occur, we cannot keep it to ourselves. We must say something. If you know something is about to occur in our neighborhoods, you can't brush it aside. You can't leave it to someone else. You have to say something. If you have ideas of ways we can increase opportunities for our young people or to prevent things from happening, things that we can do as the mayor of the city, as members of city council, as city leaders, government leaders, let us know. I stand ready to work with anybody, anytime, any place, anywhere. If we do not, otherwise we are tearing down our own communities. We are hurting our own women, children, families, and especially our seniors in our neighborhoods. The mothers you are about to hear from have been directly affected, and they are experiencing the loss each and every day. I want to introduce to you first the founder of the Village of Mothers, Calandria Kemp, a member of the No More Bloodshed movement, and the mother of George Kemp, who was slain in an altercation. Miss Kemp.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank everyone for gathering today. I never would have dreamed that I would be standing here on a street corner in the city of Houston to talk about my son, George Kemp, that was slain. And not only my son, but Miss Marilyn is standing here, as well as all these other mothers that are standing here. And not only mothers, but fathers. Never would have dreamed. Our children should be in college, doing the things that we have taught them to do. But instead, our children are lying in a grave. In particular, my son is 10 feet in the ground. Times that we would all go, all of us mothers have things in common, that we go and we lay and sit at our son's graves, our daughter's graves, to try to figure out, how did you get here? You was just at home. I was just cooking for you. What happened? Because somebody in the streets decided to make a decision on our children's life. You were not factored in the plan that we had raising our children. But since you decided to involve yourself in our children's lives, now we're coming from our closed doors to say that we're not going to sit back and grieve behind our closed doors. We're coming out to let the community know that this is real. That this is real. This pain is too deep. This pain would not let us lay down. I can't lay down. So in starting with the grief, we have to get up and gird ourselves up to say we got to put our voices together. So with that, I created the Village of Mothers to galvanize all these mothers in Houston and across the nation. There's a Facebook page called the Village of Mothers so that mothers can choose to live and not die, because you have purpose. And so with that, together we put our voices together to bring about change. And change will happen. Houston, the time is now. Houston, we have a problem, but we are the solution. We have skin in the game. We have skin in the game. Our children's blood was shed on the concrete around this city. It should not be. It should be in their bodies where God put it there. But instead, it's been on the concrete. So with the Village of Mothers, we are in the Genesis phases. If you are a mother that's out there that is crying behind your closed door, you go to the Facebook page, join the village. You will find other mothers that will gather with you. But also, too, with that, we have partnered with the No More Bloodshed movement, that we have been taking our pain to the streets. We want you to see our children's faces, because they were here. They were members of society. And so we need for our communities to come together, put the weapons down, pick up a book, find out what is going on in your own life. And better yet, for the No More Bloodshed movement, if you need help, if you need job skills, let us know. Let us know. We'll be happy to guide you and redirect you into a path that's going to cause you to be productive in this society. And so we stand here together as mothers, as families, as city leaders to say the time is now, and we are going to do something about it. And if you want to partner with us, come on to No More Bloodshed Peace Walk and come out in the communities. Thank you.
Certainly want to thank Ms. Kemp, and it's going to take all of us. Let me introduce Latanya and Reagan Maryland, parents of Raylan Maryland, Maryland, who was murdered last Thursday here in Sunnyside.
I just want to say this is very hard for us as a family, as a community. I grew up here in Sunnyside, so I've been here all my 44 years of life. So I just want to be involved, get involved in the education of the young kids in the neighborhood. I just want to help any way I can. So thank you. Thank y'all. Just pray for us.
And again, one of the primary purposes and one of the reasons why we are all here is to simply say that the pain is real, and the pain is something that just doesn't go away. and it's affecting real people, and it's going to take all of us working together to make it happen. Let me call on now Pastor Max Miller for some comments. And I know he's one of the people that have been working very closely on so many different levels. Pastor Max Miller. Did he leave? Then let me call now on Pastor Nash, who's also one of the pastors in the area and a part of Ministers Against Crime. Pastor Nash.
Let me first thank the mayor for putting this together. Certainly it is needed. People can write all they want about Sunnyside, talk about it. I live Sunnyside every day. I still live in Sunnyside. I got to build my church. I build my activity center in Sunnyside. I live on the street behind my church. Over 70 years, I'm still in Sunnyside. I see people talking about Sunnyside, really don't know anything about Sunnyside. But they never get to the people that really came up in Sunnyside. I was in Sunnyside before they put any shell on the street. They just shelled it. The dump trucks came and dumped shells. We gathered around like never seen before. I'm still living here. So when I see people talk about Sunnyside and they write books and all these little memos, I live here in Sunnyside right now. I got an activity center. I'm a board member of the Harris County Public Defender's Office. Do a lot of stuff here. The young man that got shot here Sunday before last, he got out of the hospital last Sunday. He's doing well. But I'm saying this, our problem is the accessibility to guns for our young folk. Somehow or another, we got to do away with the young people getting guns. And believe me, they are easy to get. I've got 8 grandsons, and they know the young man that got shot, he's the best friend of my grandson. You can come to my house any day, you might find 15 or 20 boys out front of my house. That gives me an opportunity to talk to these young men. When people come out, you got to engage the people that are in the midst of all this. A few weeks ago, a young man shot and killed a man and a woman down the street from my activity center. I talked him into turning himself in. See, those are things that nobody knows because you're not in Sunnyside. And you get the people, I see people gathered up and want to talk, come to the mic, that's fine. But I live here. Go to horses up and down Cullen here. Before they had any pavement or whatever, the street name was not the same. So when people talk about Sunnyside, I really wish they would engage us. Can I tell you something? I hate to say this, but guess what? I haven't been a minister all my life. Let me tell you something, and you can verify this. That was a time nobody came to Sunnyside without calling, asking me, could they come in here? That sound something? But I verified that. But God changed me, and now what I do is spend my life trying to help folks. I got an artificial hip right here from kicking in crack doors. I had a motel tore down over here that was giving the neighborhood a lot of trouble. He verified West Road, right down the street, had it torn down and gave the furniture the habitat. Nobody knows that because nobody wants to lift up somebody other than themselves. I'm not here to lift myself up. This area needs a lot of help. Thank God for the officers. Thank God for you, because, Mayor, this is something that really needs to be done. When they see you out here in the neighborhood, that's going to be mayor. It's unheard of for a mayor, the leader of a city, to come out and stand in a group such as this, and he's expressing this, showing his support to the. I can't tell you how I feel about this man. And God bless you. I really thank God for you. You know, we text each other all the time.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Pastor Nash. Let me now call on Minister Derek Muhammad.
Peace and blessings. My name is Brother Derek Muhammad. I'm a community activist. And let me first say thank you so much for everyone who came out here today to hear our plea and to hear our cry to stop the violence and to pronounce that there be no more bloodshed, not only in Sunnyside, but across the city. Thank you so much, Mayor Sylvester Turner, for your leadership. I don't know when it was the last time that I saw the mayor of one of the largest cities in America to come on the street corner where a young man lost his life and declare no more bloodshed. I think we need to give Mayor Sylvester Turner a round of applause for his leadership. I think we can do better than that for Mayor Sylvester Turner. Thank you so much. I don't think I've ever seen this, but it's encouraging that we are here today. And the mayor said it best. He said it perfectly when he said that this is not about what he is going to do. It's about what we are going to do under his leadership. I say that to say everybody has to play a role. Everyone has a role to play. The school system has a role to play. The churches have a role to play. The pastors, the mosques, we have a role to play. Activists in the community, we have a role to play. And ordinary citizens, everybody has a role to play. So this press conference is in essence a call to action for everybody to get busy playing your role. Get busy playing your role. Don't worry about what the other person beside you is or is not doing. The question that you have to ask yourself, am I doing all that I can? And if we all do what we can, I am crazy enough to believe that we actually can stop the bloodshed that flows in the streets in Sunnyside and Houston, Texas, if we all pitch in and do the best that we can. So thank you so much for your leadership, Sylvester Turner. And I just want to send a message to my young brothers out there. Your life is way too precious and way too valuable for it to be wasted in the activities that some of us are engaging in. This is a street corner. The human being's blood belongs in his veins, not on the sidewalk of a street corner. The elderly in our community, too many of them are afraid to come outside for fear of their own lives and their own safety. This should not be. So we got to take up the responsibility of protecting our communities, and I'm speaking particularly to men. So as I close, what comes to mind is the story in the Bible about the Good Samaritan. The Good Samaritan helped the man laying on the side of the road because he was more concerned about what would happen to the man, and he was less concerned about what would happen to himself. So Brother Derek Muhammad is one, Pastor E.A. Deckard is another, and others who have voices that these young brothers in the streets will listen to. Let's join together and create a task force. Let's go right where the problem is. And let's not be worried about what will happen to us if we go and we talk to these young brothers who are without opportunity and who are making foolish decisions. Don't worry about what's going to happen to you. Worry about what's going to happen to this community if we don't get up out of our seats and come up from behind our desks and get out in these streets and minister to these young brothers. Thank you very much. Peace. Assalamu alaikum.
And the last two speakers, let me call on first State Representative Boris Miles, and then he'll be followed by the council member for this district, Dwight Hawkins. While he comes, Councilmember Dwight Borkin, why don't you come forward?
Thank you, Mayor. Let me also commend my colleague, Councilmember Mike Knotts, and thank him. I mentioned at council today, and he immediately said yes. But for those who don't know, he's a retired police officer and worked in the anti-gang unit, and I'm learning a lot from you, Councilmember, so thank you for your support. Mayor, thank you so much. I think Minister Muhammad and Pastor Nash said it best. I was born in South Union as well, and I rode the streets of Sunnyside and South Park, and I don't think I can recall a day where the mayor has taken a lead like this to address any particular issue that's creating a violent element in our community. I want to thank you. I met with the mayor yesterday, and he identified all of the law enforcement agencies, including all the way out to Spring, Texas, to try to combat some of this crime in the neighborhoods. So I appreciate you, Mayor. Thank you so much. To the mothers, I don't have any children. I can't tell you how you feel. I can only pray for you. I've been knowing Kathy, and I know there are many others for many years because she's close to my family, but I know what she went through, and I can tell you this is a never-ending pain. But just remember, there are people standing with you, and we're going to do what we can. In District D, and I said it at council today, crime doesn't discriminate. It may be in my area today, but it can move and will move. But we have to follow people like Mayor Turner and others that represent the city of Houston. And one last comment I want to say. This is interesting. Isn't this ironic? The police is standing with us in the protests. In other cities, protesters are fighting against the police department. So I want to thank HPD and other law enforcement officers for working to try to make this thing work. Thank you so much.
Representative Miles, has he left? Okay, then let me just close it simply by saying that it is a plea to stop the violence, and it's not about one side of town. It's about the entire city of Houston. And I want to emphasize that we are holding this press conference at the corner of Cullen and Belford. But the same message needs to be heard all across the city. Okay, so it's not just characteristic of Sunnyside. Literally, the same message needs to go across the board. And then secondly, let me also emphasize, this is about stop the violence. But Minister Robert Muhammad, it is also about providing job opportunities for our kids. It's about enhancing the educational qualities. It's about rebuilding and revitalizing communities and establishing hope for folk who feel like their hope is gone. So there are many other elements that have to take place. I don't want to give an excuse to anybody, but I think we all need to recognize that there are many different pieces of solving this complicated puzzle. But the answer is with all of us. It's with all of us. So having said that, let me stop. I know there are others who would like to speak, but I tell you, we would be here literally all day. The key is we are standing together. So there are no big U's, no big I's. If I didn't call on you, it's not about us today. It's about solving the problem that's creating a problem for seniors and families and children. And that's what it's all about. It's not about what I as mayor can do. It's about what we can do together. And if we focus on the I, we're going to miss where we are trying to go. Having said that, are there any questions? We'll call it to an end. Let me.
I was checking to see, are you able to tell us if crime in this area or in Houston is up from last year? And sort of what
Chief,
where we are now?
Chief Montano, you want to address that? And while Chief Montava comes, Pastor Rose is handing me something. I know that there's going to be a march, the March in March, bringing God back to Sunnyside, and that march will be March 26th at 10 a.m. Starting at Sunnyside Gym. March 26th at 10 a.m. Chief Montava. And the question was about what is crime in the city as a whole? Is it going down? Is it going up?
Overall, crime is down. It's about 14% down, but you know that doesn't really matter. I can throw statistics for 2 or 3 hours. That doesn't take away the pain that these mothers and these families are feeling. And I consider the police department guardians of the community. And we're meeting with them. We're answering their concerns, and we're being proactive and we're being aggressive. But at the same time, we can't do it enough. I think enough people here have said that we need the community involvement, we need their input, and they need to tell us when these things are occurring. Thank you.
The number that you can call.
You call the police department. Also, the people in the community, they know when we have our positive interaction program. There's a lot of information that we exchange at that time, which is the second Thursday of every month. I expect my officers, when they hear these concerns, to have a response, and they've been doing that.
The question is, how do you get the community, whether it's in this area, whether it's in the East End, to report the crimes? Number one, I think it's important. Many of these individuals are community leaders. And that's why we are engaged, not just on this level, but literally. You've got, there have to be conversations with folk who are not here that they feel comfortable with talking to. And then shortly there's going to be a number. There's not going to be a number. And Janice, I don't have it, Darian, I don't know if you all have it. There's a number where I am saying that people can call me, okay? It's my number, people where you can call me if there's an incident, if there's something that you know and you feel more comfortable calling, you can call me your mayor. The reality is I still live in the same neighborhood just like in Sunnyside. Okay, so that's where we are. Let me stop. I know there may be individual questions. You can talk to people individually. Thank you all for being out here. And again, Chief, law enforcement, community leaders, the press, thank you all. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let's stop the violence.